Welcome back to the third and final segment of the Loveland Report and Loan Arranger Show. I'm Cleve, Loveland, Central Florida's best real estate plan. We're talking about buying, selling. We're alongside Bruce Woodburn, the loan arranger, talking about where interest rates are at. And just, you need to buy something. Good Lord. You're going to date this rate for about 12 to 18 months. You're marrying the house, though.
It's insane that I watch people waiting so long. There's always a reason for people to procrastinate, and procrastination has never paid off. You know, it was interesting. I was talking to somebody the other day about they were hearing that there is a segment of the population, young population, that thinks that buying a home is not a good idea, that you should be a renter.
Their broke parents told them that?
Well, I don't know if their broke parents or their woke parents told them that. I'm not quite sure who would ever tell them that, but I will tell you one thing that is, and I'm going to challenge anyone out there that's listening. I have never met a rich renter. Now, I know that Elon Musk.
Actually, he bought some. He bought some.
Yeah, he did.
He was one of the world's richest renters.
So did Grant Cardone. Okay. But you know, they own so much real estate.
Yeah.
That they just didn't have a primary because, I don't know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But for the everyday American, you look around at grandma, grandpa, your mom, your dad, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your neighbors. You look at the people that own property and you look at the people that rent, and you look and you tell me who is more financially stable, the renter or the homeowner.
Yep.
And I don't know any renters that are saving any money.
Yep.
But it's so funny because my son doesn't make enough money to really save a lot of money. Okay. He gets by. He's a paycheck to paycheck kind of kid. But now he's got just under $200,000 in equity in his property. He could have never saved that in the 4 years he's owned that home.
Yep.
Never saved that much.
Time for him to leapfrog to another one.
It absolutely is.
Right.
And he's looking for a new job.
Speaking of that, I got some ways here. Article I pulled out of one of the realtor magazines we get from the Florida Realtor Magazine, saving for a down payment. And I want to go over this, and you can talk about loans you have with low down payments.
Yep.
Eliminate your high interest credit card debt. Bruce can help you with that.
Yes.
Tighten your spending. I think the number one thing people need to do, Bruce, is stop using their debit card. Get a family credit card and put everything on that.
Yes.
And that way, because people just spend on the debit card and they never stop, and then it just overdrafts out of the savings. You got a credit card and you hit the limit on that. I know you won't like that for the credit score, but it stops the spending. So,
well, you know something, I think that Americans have gotten very, very used to instant gratification.
Yep.
They spend too much.
And then I want you to increase your income, get a better job. Always go to your boss.
Get a second job.
Get another job. Go to your boss and say, anything else you need done? Is there anything else I can do to better? How do I get a raise? Ask them that once a month or once a week. Stash away any found money, gifts or tax refunds. Save it. Track everything you spend. You know, I've been saving 20% of my income for 25 years. So ask relatives, they can help. You can do some gifting programs. So high yield savings accounts, make sure your money's in. If you do have savings, it should be getting you 4% right now. So what's the down payment programs that you have out there? Like, what are the low down payment programs?
So first of all, for veterans, have no down payment on VA loans. I have a USDA program that's got no money down. And now there are restrictions for different geographical areas. I have an FHA loan that's 3.5% down, but I can back it up with a second mortgage, so it's no down payment. I have a conventional 3% down program. So you have all kinds of opportunities. But when it also comes to savings, it's tax season. A lot of people are getting a tax refund. Take that tax refund and don't spend it on a new TV. Go out and put it down on a house. It may be your only opportunity, but ask family members for help. Maybe if you are an adult, maybe if you have adult children or grandchildren, maybe you could help them out. Maybe you're going to give them money when you die. Give them money up front because you'll ensure where it goes. I believe that if you're going to give your children a pre-inheritance before you die, then give it to them only for down payment and closing costs on a house, because that way you will protect their asset. It can't go anywhere. They can't cash it out. They can't pull money out of it unless you are notified. And if you want to protect your retirement and the money that you give to your heirs, then do it in the form of a gift of equity in real estate. I'll show you how to do it. You can give them a property or you can give them money. Now, I also hear people go, I'm worried about my IRS tax consequences on gifting money. First of all, I don't know what the IRS knows or doesn't know about what you gift, but I don't report your gift to the IRS. So I don't know. People say that, oh, how much can I gift and not have a consequence? I don't know.
I
I
think it's
see
up to like
people.
$18,000 now.
Well, but still, if I gave my kid $100,000 to put down on a house, who knows that I gave him $100,000? The bank?
I think the advantage is the 18 grand you gave, or whatever the gift
But
is not taxable.
what I'm saying is, so if I gave my kid $100,000 as a gift and it's a taxable gift, how does anybody even know that I'm doing that? Do I report that on my tax returns and pay the taxes on it? I mean,
I don't think so. No.
I don't understand. I really don't.
Yep.
I don't, it's never been a concern of mine. It's not a
I think
worry
the
of
person
mine.
receiving the gift's supposed
I'm
to
not telling you
report it.
to mislead the IRS. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I don't know how they would even know.
Yep.
Maybe if you know and you're a CPA, you could call me
I
and
just
tell
think
me.
saving for the down payment is the hardest thing, and that's why PMI is a good thing. These 3% and 5% down loans, and you've got some old, like the old first and second mortgages. You got the little
Yeah,
gifts.
those are really few and far between anymore, the combo loans, because in order to do a combo loan, you got to be, the first mortgage has got to be under 20%. There's some really strange things going on with that. I have a client right now that wants to assume a mortgage at 3.99%. It's a $410,000 house. Listen to this. He wanted to assume the mortgage because it's 3.99.
But he doesn't have the cash to pay the seller the equity.
Listen to this. It's a $410,000 house. He's willing to put $100,000 down. So he wants me to do a second mortgage for $110. The second mortgage is at 10% interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
The payment's $925 a month on that. I'm like, do you realize that you'd be better off to put 20% down?
Yeah.
And just do a whole new mortgage?
Yep.
It's so much better. But he was insistent on doing it that way. So I ran the numbers that way and I showed him the current client's payment. He went, well, that's ridiculous. I said, I know.
Yeah.
Now you're listening to me.
Yep.
I will never lead a client in the wrong direction.
No, you don't. And I know when you get the loan, I just put some new people on my team and I told them, I said, you get your buyers to Bruce, the loan will be done. If there's a loan there, you will get it done. He's going to pester the, I don't say pester him. You will get all the paperwork. You will get all the paperwork and then it'll be done. I want to dive in. I got a couple listings, Bruce, not as many as usual, but I got some great ones coming up. I got a 1.2 million, 4,000 square foot office building, not an office building, more of a retail center.
Right.
It was a kitchen and bath remodeling center on Lake Mary Boulevard. This is 4,000 square feet on Lake Mary Boulevard for 1.2 million. So that's about under $300 a square foot, and great place. Make it your own. Great for a doctor's office, school, daycare, another home remodeling center.
Doctor's office would be perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a great location on Lake Mary Boulevard. Tons of traffic going by that. And it's so hard to find new construction. I've got a 510,000 house in the Highlands in Winter Springs. Beautiful home.
Love the Highlands.
$100,000 renovation. This is the biggest lot in the Highlands. This owner bought land behind him. He's almost a third of an acre.
Great schools.
The inside,
Winter Springs,
is just gorgeous. I mean, the renovation was just incredible on the inside of this. Looks like $1 million home on the inside. Then I've got one out in Montverde. It's going to be 1.4 million, 5,000 square feet. The main house is 4,000 square feet. There's a guest house. So it is 5 bedrooms, 4 baths. You walk into this, it's all one floor. Let's take that back. There's a loft in one area of it, but most of the house is on one floor. Nowadays, Bruce, you see most people, they want 4,000 square feet. You're in a big box.
Well, it's
and all the bedrooms are upstairs.
That you just gave 3 listings and 2 of them are over $1 million.
Yeah. And this is 3.
We are in Central Florida. It is. And people don't realize houses are going up. My neighbor over in Lake Mary just sold his house for $1.1 million. It's in the middle of a regular neighborhood.
Yep.
Cash.
Yep. So there's, but this one's got a guest house. It's on 3 acres. You can have horses in this community. Great neighborhood. Bella Colina is finally getting built out, and the cheapest homes in there are running in the low millions.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just gorgeous homes, gorgeous area. You're still close in because you can't go anywhere, Bruce. I have people calling, I want to buy some land and build. I'm like, all right, we're heading to the country unless you
Sure.
buy an old house and knock it down, or maybe do a renovation loan. It's very hard to find that. It's just not. Central Florida is getting packed with people, which is a good thing for our values. So if
Yep.
you have any questions on any listings, give me a call at 407-352-8118. I'll be working all weekend. 407-352-8118, or go to cleveloveland.com.
Yeah, or call the loan arranger. Get your loan process started. I have the easiest process that you could ever imagine. 10 minutes on the phone, or you can go to my website at webringyouhome.com. Now, listen, I like taking applications in person. I like having Zoom meetings. I like having personal meetings. I like having phone calls. I'm not all this internet, but I have all the technology for people that just don't want to have a meeting. I believe that you will get way more out of your mortgage and the experience if you have a one-on-one meeting with me. And I do it with all my clients that would like a meeting with me. If you want a consultation with me to discuss your options, I will do that as well. 407-250-9144. That's 407-250-9144, or webringyouhome.com. Every loan program you could possibly think of, a bunch you never even heard of. Cleve Loveland, the voice of real estate here in Florida. He's got buyer's agents on call right now. He's out. He's got some listings you're going to pick up this weekend?
God, I'm busy. I've been booked every day this week. I got lots of people making plans. We're always making more contacts. So
Right.
despite slow market, busy market, I'm always busy, Bruce.
Well,
People need good help.
We're moving and shaking.
Yeah. And 10% of the people are doing 90% of the business. In fact, I brought you a list. I brought you a hit list of all the top realtors in town right here for you. I want you to call on these people to make sure, because I think there's a drag on the market, Bruce, and it's because there's buyers in the car with the wrong people.
I believe,
and they're
right.
confused. They think, okay, I found the house I want for 500,000. I'm going to offer them 410 because I watched that TV show last night and they stole that house from, for that, because it was a foreclosure, right, and the family was desperate. Those things don't happen. So it's you got to hunt very, very, very hard for it.
Well, it's like going to those weekend
it's a drag
seminars.
On the market. It's a drag on the market. And those guys, I get those calls every week. I had a guy irate with me because he wondered why we weren't replying to his offers for 60% of list price. And that's because I've got instructions from my sellers, because I warned them about this, just saying, can I have your permission to not reply to these offers if they're below 80% of list price, because they never go anywhere.
Right.
And then they, even if you accept their offer, it seems decent, they backpedal on the inspection, go, oh, I want the house totally renovated. I need $100,000 credit, lower the price, that kind of thing. So you got to know what you're dealing with out there, Bruce. I think there is a drag on the market because people are they're in the car with the wrong person, not guiding them and advising them. Get your house, find the one you love. If you qualify them for the mortgage, just buy it. I've never had somebody qualify for the mortgage and then just, oh my God, I can't afford this. You would not give them the loan if they're stretched too far. So do it, get back to work, get back to living with your family, enjoy it. Move on to the next one in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? And if you are looking to buy a home, I'm doing several mortgages, right now out of state. I've got two in North Carolina, Georgia, Indiana, even Oklahoma. So I can lend in all 50 states. If you need help anywhere in the United States, if you have a friend or family member that needs help with a mortgage, I promise you, if you come to me, you won't fire me. And if I don't do everything that I say I'm going to do for you, then fire me. I will tell you, I do not have people make application fees with me. So in other words, if you don't use my services, you owe me nothing. Do you charge a fee and say if you and lock people in on an agreement, and if they don't use
I just visited somebody last week. Their uncle passed away, left them a house. They came to town from Georgia. I went to see the house and gave them everything that I do and showed them the market analysis and what I think they should spend money on, and told them I would handle all this. And they're like, well, how much do we owe you? I go, I don't get paid unless you list with me and we go to the closing table. And they were just shocked. They thought I was going to hand them a bill for $500 for all the work I did.
I have a client right now that was complaining about her realtor.
Imagine that.
Yeah. She was turned on by a friend.
Exactly. Friend of a friend.
And she's like, I just don't think he knows how to do this very well. And I said, well, fire him. She goes, well, I signed a buyer broker's agreement and I'm locked into him till September.
Read that agreement, because there's a cancellation clause in that.
I'm actually going to have you take a look at that for me. It's an out of town buyer, but I'd like you to take a look at that. Listen, Cleve Loveland, the voice of real estate, 352-8118 or cleveloveland.com. Thanks for listening to the Loveland Report and the Loan Arranger Show. If you'd like to talk to the Loan Arranger, I'm here available right now. You can call or text me at 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. That's 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. Have a great weekend. God bless each
Have a
and
great
every
weekend.
one of you. Thank you.